Hello, my name is Shae Woodruff. I am a junior at the University of Delaware studying apparel design. I completed the Summer Scholars Program under the guidance of Professor Katia Rolsey. This summer, I researched the sustainability of a fiber that is commonly overlooked in the United States. Hemp is the strongest natural fiber in the world with environmental properties that can help pollution issues caused by multiple levels of the fashion industry. Hemp is a multi-purpose crop as each part of the plant can be cultivated and processed without waste. Today, there are over 50,000 known uses for hemp. The purpose of this research is to investigate how the implementation of new fibers into different sectors of the fashion industry can create environmental benefits. The fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world, causing environmental damage to steadily increase as the industry grows. Fast fashion has caused pollution at every phase of the product life cycle. The use of toxic chemicals, water contamination, greenhouse gas emissions, waste, overconsumption, and production of microplastic fibers are all problems that can be solved through sustainable design. The use of the hemp plant doesn't just stop at textiles. It can be implemented into many different categories of the fashion industry, including manufacturing and brick-and-mortar settings. There is an undeniable need for new clothing, buildings, and uses for plastic in the fashion industry, but there are new innovations for these needs that could help our environment rather than hurting it. The increased growth of hemp in the United States doesn't only help the environment, but provides economic and social benefits for our country. The question my research seeks to answer is how hemp can be applied to different parts of the fashion industry to become more sustainable. This research is executed through different avenues, including sustainable design, market research, environmental research, and a look back into history. Hemp has been a staple crop used for many different applications for thousands of years. Through industrialization, hemp textiles became more labor-intensive to process and were almost completely replaced by cotton when hemp growth was outlawed after World War II. There still is hemp clothing, but due to recent law changes in 2018, most hemp textiles are still sourced internationally, making them much more expensive than cotton. The common misconception that most people have about hemp is that it is the same plant as marijuana because they come from the same plant genus, cannabis. Cannabis sativa L, also known as hemp, is the non-psychoactive form of cannabis with high counts of cannabidiol, CBD, which are non-intoxicating compounds. Cannabis indica marijuana has poor fiber quality and high counts of tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, ranging between 18 to 31% dependent on strain. High concentrations of THC cause euphoric and intoxicating effects. In the 1930s, science was not advanced enough to understand this, so all cannabis plants were negatively grouped together. Hemp has been used for over 10,000 years as a source of food, clothing, medicine, fuel, and paper. Over time, hemp became a necessity and important commodity to pay taxes for many societies. Hemp is an important part of the United States history as it was a staple crop for the war effort. It didn't start to receive a negative connotation until the late 1920s when anti-marijuana propaganda campaigns started. The Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 was set in place to federally regulate the growth, possession, sale, and distribution on all cannabis plants, including hemp. All hemp producers were required to register with the Treasury Department and receive a special tax stamp. The bill placed a heavy occupational tax on growers and prohibitive taxes on most cannabis transfers, making the growth of hemp financially unattainable, effectively banning the crop. In 1942, the prohibition was briefly lifted to sustain our military's need for hemp. A pro-hemp campaign was launched presenting the Hemp for Victory film and educational brochures to encourage American farmers to cultivate hemp again. The United States government formed the War Hemp Industries, a department that subsidized the cultivation of hemp with U.S. farmers. During World War II, hundreds of thousands of acres of hemp were grown across the Midwest to sustain our military's needs. The Controlled Substances Act of 1970 made no distinction between the type of cannabis plant, listing hemp illegal as a Schedule I drug. This law prohibited the growth and use of hemp in America. In 2014, the Farm Bill Section 7606 allowed universities and state agricultural departments to grow hemp under a pilot program if state laws permitted. This new pilot program made hemp production legal under university and college research. This research sparked a hemp revival in America. The 2018 Farm Bill removed hemp from the Controlled Substances Act altogether, making the regulated growth, processing, manufacturing, and transportation of hemp federally legal. This was the first time in almost 90 years hemp was removed from the definition of marijuana under law. In the past 2 years, individual states have been passing their own laws pertaining to the cultivation and processing of hemp to federally match standards. The main component of my study is sustainable design-based research. In the fashion industry, designers commonly use a set of standards to ensure sustainability. The TEDS 10 is a set of design strategies that directs designers in various methods for sustainable apparel design. The designer created touched on 3 of these 10 strategies. This outfit is a modern representation of historical dress in Mesopotamia dating back to the oldest archaeological evidence of hemp textiles. The traditional kanake was a large rectangle made of leaf-shaped tiers wrapped as a skirt or dress. To represent nature, I chose to tier and trim swatches like leaves to resemble the original garment's aesthetic. The traditional Mesopotamian shawl was a large rectangle with fringe that could be wrapped around the entire body. I chose to transform the shawl into a wrap top with fringe by creating an 188 by 11 inch long scarf. This is a zero-waste design using 2 yards of fabric, incorporating any fabric waste into fringe and tiers. Before using the fabric, I purchased 2 hemp swatch books. The swatches will be used as the tiers to guarantee that there is zero waste. To ensure cyclability, this design was created for a monomateriality, making the entire look out of hemp fibers down to the sewing thread. The skirt fabric is 100% woven hemp. The shawl top is made with a hemp and cotton jersey blend to allow stretch. The thread is 100% hemp, and the swatches are a mix of hemp textiles and hemp blends. A common denominator in fast fashion is the use of synthetic fibers and non-organic cotton. These fibers cause pollution through production, usage, and post-consumer life. Synthetic textiles release microplastic fibers into the ocean with every wash. Cotton uses an extreme amount of water and pesticides while diminishing the soil. Although cotton and hemp are both natural fibers, hemp is extremely more sustainable. It is a renewable resource that will annually replant itself. Hemp can grow in poor soil conditions and varying climates, making the United States a perfect place for cultivation. Hemp can grow on an industrial scale without the use of pesticides and herbicides while returning nutrients to the soil. This creates a clean air benefit and reduces water usage to less than 1/4 the amount cotton needs during cultivation. Hemp absorbs and permanently traps more carbon dioxide per hectare than any other forest or commercial crop. The plant would be a great component for carbon farming, as increased cultivation can impact global warming by depleting CO2 from the atmosphere. Hemp's large size provides double the amount of fiber yield per acre than cotton. A common misconception about hemp is that it is too coarse or thick to be used for certain types of garments. Hemp has great properties and characteristics that can be mixed with other fibers to form textiles. Hemp can be blended with any natural or synthetic to mix the desirable properties of each fiber or to just make a fiber more environmentally friendly overall. Plastics are a huge part of the brick-and-mortar setting. They are used for packaging, displays, and security measures. Green Progress reported that over 8 billion plastic hangers are produced each year. Plastic hangers are almost impossible to recycle because they are made from a mix of 5 or more different plastics, taking up to 1,000 years to rot. When plastic decomposes, it releases carcinogenic toxic chemicals into the atmosphere, causing further pollution. Bird and marine life are extremely affected by discarded hangers as they get lodged around their necks or legs. Hemp bioplastics are designed to feel and act like traditional petroleum-based plastics with the ability to completely biodegrade between 3 to 4 months. The plant-based polymers are created from hemp processing waste, making hemp bioplastics renewable and sustainable. Traditional plastic is fossil fuel-based, ejecting carbon dioxide when decomposing. As hemp grows, it absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and converts it into oxygen, which then gets released into the atmosphere. To become more eco-friendly, companies can replace their plastic used in stores like hangers, mannequins, and security tags with hemp plastic. While textiles are made from the outer layer, building materials made from hemp use the inner layer. Hemp hurd and hemp processing waste are mixed with lime binder to form hempcrete, a sustainable solution for traditional concrete. Concrete can be cracked through exposure to water and freezing temperatures, while hempcrete absorbs and releases moisture depending on environment conditions to resist damage. This causes excellent insulation as moisture is absorbed when humidity is high and released when humidity is low. When concrete is produced, large amounts of carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere. Concrete dust is extremely toxic, causing air pollution and possible health problems, including occupational respiratory disease. Concrete is a porous material, making it susceptible to mold. Hempcrete resists dampness, fungus, and mold due to the high pH levels of the lime binder. Hemp not only absorbs carbon dioxide while being grown, but also after it's been processed into industrial products. This creates carbon-negative structures, greatly reducing its environmental impact through emissions and greenhouse gases. Whether it is implemented into stores, warehouses, showrooms, or other buildings, hempcrete can be an easy substitute for companies to be more environmentally friendly. In the future, I hope to use this research for bigger projects and a way into the sustainable design field. With the rest of the summer, I plan to sow my history-based design. In the future, I hope to dive deeper into the economical and social benefits that the increased growth of hemp in the United States will provide. As cultivation laws continue to change federally, the future of the hemp industry projects a highly profitable market. Human beings have followed a non-sustainable development model for which we are now suffering the consequences. Hemp is the plant that has the potential to reinvent fashion into a more sustainable industry. Thank you.